And welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 2 of the Universal Open, presented by Brisk and 7-Eleven. It's time for our third game of the evening, and it's going to be Seoul eSports taking on Butter Bros, one of our favourite names we've decided in the break that we've heard so far. Gentlemen, again, let's talk about this one. Seoul eSports we saw a little bit of yesterday. Disappointing performance from them. It fell into the losers bracket, obviously, but they've got another chance here of redemption, and they're going up against Butter Bros, who we haven't seen too much of so far. It's going to be an interesting one to gauge, especially with some of the other teams we've seen in the losers bracket looking so strong.
Yeah, we actually saw Seoul eSports play FlyQuest yesterday. It took them all the way to 5 games. It was a pretty close series overall. Really liked Bork and Savvy Seal. FlyQuest, I mean, we talked a little bit about why we didn't think they played up to snuff. You know, AJ and Moses don't tend to play a lot. It's not the FlyQuest roster, you know, Prime Thunder, Wonder, or AJ and somebody else from FlyQuest. It's Moses, and we suspect that could have been why it took them a little bit to get going. But Seoul eSports put up a pretty good fight, so I think they stand a pretty decent chance through the losers bracket. I think we might see them make it to day 3.
Well, they could well do, and as we say, some strong teams still left in our lower bracket at the moment. But Butter Bros, Shogun, I know you're excited to talk about these two young people. Tell us a little bit more about these guys.
Well, they've got the best name in the competition. I mean, it's a tight competition for that, but
it is.
I think Butter Bros is the tightest, well, the best one that we've got overall. Apart from that, though, I'm not, overly familiar.
And the car.
It's the car.
The car.
Okay, I do know the car because he is one of the top 1v1 players out there right now. Yes. So I'm actually excited. I haven't had a chance to see the car outside of ones at this point, so I've suddenly gone from I'm not too sure to
this is going to be great.
This is interesting all of a sudden because the car, one of the top guys in the leaderboards right now. I believe he was the top. Well, I might be incorrect on that, but I'm interested all of a sudden because we've seen how strong 1v1 players can be in this tournament.
I just love the switch from
it
was
Butter
Brothers.
It was a light bulb.
It's Butter Brothers.
Yeah.
No.
Hang on.
It was the light bulb moment. Shogun going, yeah, I don't. Wait a minute.
I mean,
I do know.
I mean, it's great though because the Butter Bros, one of the best names.
The best name so far.
Yes. I mean, I've seen worse names out there, but the car. In a car-based football game.
It's pretty meta.
We've got another week of North American qualifiers coming after this one before we get to Europe. So we have 2 more weeks, and this is a message to all the players. The bar has been set right now. The bar has been set with Butter Brothers. Do your worst or do your best. It depends what way you want to look at it, but we want that to be beaten. We don't want Butter Bros to be the end of what has been an exceptional run of names that we've had so far for teams.
The worst part is our humour, so the worse it is, the better it is.
Yeah, the more that we enjoy it. But it looks like game number 1 is very much underway, gentlemen. Really looking forward to this one. Of course, this is an elimination game. Winner will be going home. The winner will stay alive. It's Seoul eSports taking on Butter Bros.
Well, Butter Bros. We're taking on a team that we were really impressed with yesterday. Taking FlyQuest all the way to game 5, although that's not going to be a great start. They'll be happy to see that the shot was off target. But that was a warning shot there from Seoul eSports, and there is... this is a match of great names right now. The car, Butter Bros, Bork.
This is the most... Oh, man. He's got red everything. It's like the most ketchup and mustard car you can possibly imagine.
Bork, shots on target, and that is going to be straight in. Perfect start from him now. Achieves, we saw Bork playing yesterday and Savvy. Pretty much a 100% speed, 100% of the time sort of team.
It was go drive at it really fast and then hit it really hard and beat your opposition to the ball and put it in the back of the net. And,
basically the greatest strategy in Rocket League.
It really is. It's the easiest one to pull off.
What are you talking about? It's the hardest. If I do it, it must be the hardest.
Shogun. If you do it, it's got to be the easiest thing.
I take no shortcuts. It's going to be the car watching as that one goes over the top of him. Savvy. Very well some of his ball control yesterday. He's going to look to try and replicate this today. That's going to be on target. What a shot that was. And the car forced to react, but I can guarantee that's used a lot of his boost. Sort of being baited out to go and try and get that. Bork, straight to the corner. Darkness. Just trying to find his way into this match a little bit. Can't quite get that one, but it's going to be a bump. And push straight into the corner once again.
The funny thing is I feel like I've heard Darkness and his name before in Rocket League. I just couldn't tell you where.
I mean, I just keep feeling of Dark Fire
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
As the car gets bounced over.
Oh, he's up so early. What the heck?
Savvy straight over to Bork, and
Wow.
Bork will find the corner yet again. That's his second goal of the game.
So, I mean, I know there's pre-jumping, but Bork was up, or Darkness was up so early in front of his own net. I think he was expecting that bounce to come a little bit more towards the net instead of hanging out around there towards the sidewall, and he just tried to adjust to it, but caught jumping crazy early, and Bork punishes him for it.
So the car straight up. He's got 50 boosts still to his name. He's got it just about in. Great individual play there by the car.
Onset can't keep it together.
It sounds like I forgot the name, really, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does, and that's honestly the best bit.
So, what a great play by the car. The bull.
No, Shogun, the
You know what,
car.
Darkness, change your name to the bull right now.
The car
I
and
want
the
their
ball.
freeze teammate to also have the boost.
Yeah, the car, the ball, and the boost combined to make a brilliant goal. It'd be so good.
Well, Darkness is.
Oh, what a goal! What a goal from Butter Brothers here. It's actually a brilliantly placed ball over the right. Okay. We're fine.
Okay.
I think we needed that.
I need to skirt around the name of this guy so much.
You can't. If you don't want to call him
Well,
the car,
here
you're
we
going to
go.
refer to him as the car.
Well, Savvy has taken out the bloke. Followed up immediately by the lad. Savvy with a shot straight through. The dude has got demoed. Bork, I don't know if he's got the flip reset. He has got a hold of it. It is 2-2 for as much laughing as we've got right now.
Oh.
That is a crucial shot there from Savvy.
You know, Darkness actually had an okay chance at this. Problem being, he got caught on the game's worst enemy, the post. Got those wheels on either side of it. Couldn't jump off however you want. You're just sitting there hoping you make contact. And Onset's still laughing. It's great.
He's gone. He's got 2 minutes to compose himself. Maybe longer if this goes to overtime. My money's on he's not got a chance. That's the car. I can't. Every time I say it, he starts laughing.
I don't blame him. It's a brilliant naming strategy. Because you know when it pops up whenever somebody scores too, it's like, the car scored.
It's some good branding right there. Savvy taking his time. Soul eSports ain't got to do too much right now as Darkness
Oh, straight down?
might get the straight down block. There's going to be Bork. Right in the way.
Brilliant defense overall as well. Tough read to make. Go up there and catch it before it comes down, and even after it came down, still kept it close and made it a very difficult play for Butter Brothers. One-on-one.
Car just taking his time, but it's a 2v1 situation. The car does incredibly well. He knew he had to try and keep the pace as low as possible so the power would stay out of the game, and that allows him to just stick to the ball like glue. Still, needing that extra goal, otherwise Butter Bros will be going down in game number one. It's an incredibly close match to start us off here. Bork with the
placement.
follow-up. That's going to go too high. Savvy, he's on no boost at all. And
no.
Darkness with a shot on target. 3 goals all. 60 seconds left in the match. This could end up being a ridiculously close series.
Yeah, and that's actually the all-or-nothing attempt right there from Soul Esports to put the game away. If they put that one in, they go up 2 goals with a minute left. That's a tough insurance goal to get back in that amount of time. And they sent the house and unfortunately rushed the shot just a little bit, punted it high, and they were punished for it.
The car will be all the way back by himself.
Oh,
There's Bork with the flick up. Darkness. Push the ball to the corners. Plenty of boost right now on the side of the car. Gonna use that to... Don't you start. Don't you start.
I'm actually laughing because I thought you said the flick of darkness. It just sounded like the most,
You've activated my spell card.
yeah, it's like the greatest, special move ever.
I'm just going to sandbag both of you at this point. You're not helping. That's the car. Sets up Darkness.
This is a tense match. It's an
It
elimination
is.
series.
It's a very tense match here at Chiefs.
It's so brilliant.
Take a moment.
Okay.
Breathe.
Okay.
I'm sure both these teams are going to be doing the exact same. This might be the last opportunity.
Ooh.
Bork didn't want to go for the original
pass.
slot. Savvy has put his shot too high in the car with the clear.
Man.
That will be dropping straight down. 3-all. And right now, this game is no laughing matter.
Shogun's over there grinning. You can't see it. He's trying to keep it together, too.
I'm all good, my friends. Savvy wins the challenge. He's got the car right next to him.
Oh, great clear.
Darkness will now have to try and read the bounce. It's such an awkward one as well, and Savvy, he was definitely thinking about it, but now the car, can he get there beforehand? It's not on target at all, and now Bork is in defense. And the Bork did exactly what he does best. He ran his face straight into it.
He is very good at that.
It's worked. There is hope for all of us.
It's better to be amazing at something and okay at other things than it is to be decent at everything.
Well, this is going to be scary now. Darkness, one-on-one against Bork. The flick, not strong enough. And Bork picks up yet another save.
Oh, great ship. Oh, and he flubbed it. Feels bad. Messed up the follow-up.
Savvy now, controlling the midfield. That's an early shot. And the car has been a defensive wall. And what I do like about it is he's using so little boost that he can usually get a second save, but that was not a great first touch from him. Forces the challenge, which he did win.
You say defensive wall, you're not wrong. He's got 7 saves already in this game.
Follow-up, not there. The car, half flips. Gets himself straight back into position.
Oh, and the boost spawned. Convenient.
It's timing. Savvy gonna have to try and win the challenge. And the car has managed to set up at least a decent amount of space for his teammate, but that is another very nice clear.
Not the best read. It's going to be a weak touch. Should be a turnaround here.
Savvy plays it early. This is the sign of nerves right now. Both these teams just trying to get the quickest goal they can possibly get, rather than trying to create the best chance they can possibly get. The car,
Ooh, love
he's
the
just
idea.
taking his time. And Savvy, very bad challenge there from him. He was in an incredibly awkward angle.
Yeah, and he's only in an incredibly awkward angle because, you know, the car made a great read on that play. He knows if he just lets that ball come to him, the challenge angle is not going to be good, but it doesn't matter. Savvy just gets it right through him out of the midfield, slams it off the post, and it took him 2 extra minutes from that 0-second attempt, but they finally got it in.
Yeah, I think the car was just trying to fake out the idea that he was going to go straight back, so that way he would potentially keep the ball under his own control, but Savvy gets a crucial goal. You had the overtime here on set. Mm-hmm. You're all good.
I'm fine. I don't understand why you guys lost it so much. It was nothing funny about that. Anyway, so eSports managed to close out in overtime. We're gonna the car. Hats off to you, buddy. Genuinely, every time you said it, I was creasing. It was a fantastic. It was a great game though. Very tightly contested between the two teams. Both teams seem to have players who can pull off some impressive individual plays as well, with some impressive mechanics as well. But I mean, the car seemed to almost be the difference for his team. I thought they were actually going to take that just from the fact that the car was making so many good defensive plays and making so many saves that you just felt that if they could keep him out for a while, they were going to create an opportunity. But it was actually Seoul eSports who managed to close it out in the end.
Yeah, the car was very slow towards the beginning of the series. So much so I was sort of looking at just going, is this the same one that I know who it is, or is there another the car out there?
The car V2.
But he really started to warm up. I think they'll definitely benefit from him having like a full game of him playing towards his best rather than the slow start that he had here. But this, I'm going to say it again here, but this shouldn't, with the way these two teams are playing, this shouldn't be a 3-0. This is very close.
The biggest problem, and I think why it could end up being that way, is you see Seoul eSports. They are absolutely dominating the pitch. I mean, when one player is having to make 7, 8, maybe even potentially 10 saves in a game, you're rifling shots in the net. Maybe they're not all quality, but there are plenty of dangerous chances there for Seoul eSports. Threatening at 0 seconds, the teamwork is definitely there, and the pressure's there for Seoul eSports. So Butter Brothers is going to have to figure out a way to hold on to that ball and really limit as many chances as they can. Take those away from Seoul eSports out of the midfield. You can't let that amount of pressure get put on you again going forward.
Yeah, they're going to have to change things up maybe a little bit in this game too, as you say. Maybe trying to alleviate that pressure a little bit. Looking at Butter Bros though, I mean, as you say, defensively, we're forced to make a lot of plays there. They've shown that they can do that. What would you suggest offensively? Maybe they change up a little bit, just to maybe alleviate that pressure from their own goal a little bit.
It's a little bit weird because the transitional play from Bork and Savvy is so difficult to work against because they're trying to force a challenge.
They're very coordinated.
Because they've got someone else right behind it. So I don't know if they can really compete with that level of coordination that Seoul eSports actually have. But I want to like to see them using the walls a little bit more. Everything's so central right now.
Create
The
space.
walls are much more difficult to get up to and challenge. You have to use boost no matter what to get over to there. But right now they're not being utilized at all, either as a way of just dribbling the ball out or as a clearing mechanism. Put someone over there and that way you can easily find them. If they can start utilizing those, I think they can open up some more gaps for themselves. But at the same time, they could just keep doing what they're doing right now. And if they start winning challenges, we're going to come back here and just go, well, it's not suddenly working for them. Yeah. So they could just stick with the same and it might just work better.
And just a reminder to everyone at home at the moment, we're in the elimination bracket at the moment. So if you lose this game, you are very much going home. And we're about to jump into our second game of the series. It's currently Seoul eSports, though, who are up by 1, gentlemen.
Yeah, but the last game, so incredibly close. Seoul eSports. I mean, they're not... We were talking earlier on about how Allegiance is looking for a rematch. They're not the only ones. Seoul eSports... They might feel aggrieved by the fact that they lost to FlyQuest yesterday. Felt like they could have potentially have taken it.
Oh, wow.
It's the car.
What a play from Bork, though.
Just underneath. There's going to be the shot. It's a great save. The follow-up, though. Nothing you can do about that one.
This was such a stingy stand on defense. Bork had to make a double save in the net. Had to force the car off the initial attempt on the net that Savvy wasn't quite ready for. They got one off the bar. They stopped that one, and then unfortunately, they just couldn't find a clear. The pressure was so strong from Butter Brothers there, and they finally broke through.
I have a side now. Good long clear. Savvy will be waiting for it. The car. Right in front of it that time. Bounce off the backboard. Savvy. Just...
Oh, dear.
I like that idea. You know what? I would also take the shot for my opponents because I know I'm likely to miss it. Now Bork. There's attempted bumping plays. Instead, the car tries to force the challenge. Do like this, though, a little bit more. The car is taking the ball down under his own control.
Oh, man.
Force individual situations. Now Savvy, he's only got Darkness to beat. And he does it with some flair.
Man, the worst part is that it looked like such a well-timed challenge coming out of the midfield. Like, he didn't really let Savvy get started on that dribble. They wanted to shut it down quickly. They didn't want to go into the 1v1 scenario. They said, look, I'll let you grab some boost. I'm going to try and stop him. Unfortunately, you missed that challenge, and you gave Savvy all the space and all the time to do whatever he wanted over on offense, and more often than not, he'll punish you.
It's now 1 goal apiece. Darkness gets bumped out. Car looking for a follow-up. Darkness clears long. Savvy, he's got to be very convincing with how he touches this, and he's got it all the way to the other side of the pitch. That was definitely convincing.
Ooh, free ball.
Bork, though,
Wow.
requires Savvy to take that away, otherwise that could have been a counter-attack there for the Butter Bros. Very back and forth so far, but what a redirect that is, and an even better save, the car.
Hats off
I don't know
to you.
how he got there.
Hats off to you. Just a great read off the play. You know, he knows Darkness has the left side of the net. Car says, look, I'm not going to crowd it. I'm going to take the other side, and he makes a great stop.
Could have been dropped straight down, though. Darkness won't be there in time, but the car should have the ball under his own control.
Oh, there's no boost. And Savvy took it away.
All right, Car, let's see how much you've got with absolutely nothing here. He's actually done very well until he was demoed.
He did deny the corner boost.
Darkness looking to win a challenge. Seems like Darkness has slightly got his timing off so far when it does come to these challenges. He's very much coming second most of the time. This needs to be played very well. He's got zero boost. And it was just slowly tapping it in front of his own net.
And the Car making a great read on this play. There's only one way that this ball is going, and it's going to be across the blue net. And it's all on Savvy to make that play. If he doesn't square that one up and get it to the opposite corner, that one's going in every single time. And, you know, just to make matters worse, he even missed it.
So the lead is now re-established for the Butter Bros. This time they'll be looking to try and hold on to it. Darkness.
Oh, he's got no boost. This is going to be a little weird.
Car. Doing very well with that, though, as Darkness looking to just tap it onwards. Car, zero boost on him.
Dodges a demo.
Let's see
Wave
what he's
dash.
got.
Oh,
He doesn't
yes.
need any boost. And the power of a ones player coming out yet again.
I really want to know if he heard Bork coming to demo him and he hopped that on purpose, or if he was just setting up.
Knowing Bork the way that we've seen him, I think you could have heard Bork shouting on his way to that one.
Either way, that's a brilliant dribble from the Car. Had a nice little wave dash land, picked up that little bit of extra speed, got right under it, Solid flick into the net. Perfect execution.
Car. Straight over to Darkness. That's some lovely transitional play. And we could be seeing a 1-1 series unless Seoul Esports can find a way around this. But the defense of Butter Bros has just been rock solid. Yes, they've been conceding, but they've needed a lot against them in order to concede. This might be one of those opportunities, and Savvy will pick up his brace.
Yeah, everybody just missing this one in front of the net. The car driving, trying to get the read on it, clips the lip, and it takes him right out of that play. Just doesn't have the full command of his car, and it's a freebie.
I think he had to sort of respect the possibility of a doozy dish as well. So I think he was just trying to cover every angle.
And just hitting the lip just compounded all the issues he had to deal with.
The main story here is now 90 seconds left. Seoul Esports now just need one more to tie us up. Bork straight on top. That's some great individual play. Savvy did this earlier on. Bork almost did it this time around. Infield pass now. Bork against Darkness.
Ooh.
They both will come up short there.
Ooh.
And Savvy unable to read the pass on. The car is on 0 boost. I'm still not entirely convinced he can't score from that position after what we saw earlier.
Well, the best part is, like, yeah, he had no boost, but he was literally just keeping the pressure on him because he knows that if he just drives right behind him and forces him to keep going with that play, it's just going to buy extra time for Darkness to get in a good spot. It's a heads-up play. He knows what his opponent's options are from where he's going to be challenging from.
45 seconds now. Won't be on target. Feels like the pace is really starting to ramp up from Seoul Esports, but Butter Bros have been happy to go along with it. They are not turtling up here. Willing to play across the entirety of the field. Darkness. That's such a scary situation. So easy to get those wrong. Came up just well. Savvy, just too much angle for him to get that one on net. 20 seconds now. Savvy can't quite flick it, and the car with yet another clear. That'll waste more time off the clock. There's only one more chance here for Seoul Esports, if even that. Darkness. Oh, that's a bad flick on Savvy. One-on-one against the car. Oh, just far down. Follow up. Scored.
Man, you want to talk about perfect touch from Savvy. Darkness is going to be upset he missed the challenge, but Savvy, that is 100% perfect place. If it goes bar and in, perfect. If it goes high, it doesn't matter. The car can't reach it. Excellently placed ball from Savvy, and a well-deserved equalizer.
And it all came down to the missed touch from Darkness.
Absolutely.
He's gonna look to try and make it up now. For Butter Bros, this could be a huge moment for them in this series. They've got to pick up a win. If not, Seoul Esports will be on series point. And another mistake there from Darkness almost cost them.
Oh, they give him space.
There's Darkness, challenged. The car turns around. He sees Savvy there already. Will be beat. Darkness straight into the path of Savvy.
One-on-one.
He's going to look to try and follow up. He is demoed. But he has kept the ball away. Now the car against Bork.
Man, he's so smart. He saw that bounce and just realized he had time to grab the boost. Car's just been absolutely stellar on defense.
Butter Bros, this might be their opportunity to transition over. That's a poor touch from Bork.
Oh, where's Savvy?
Who's going to be taking
What's
the
he
shot?
doing?
Who's got the ball? Who's got the chance? It's going to be the car. And Butter Bros, after the most nervy end to that game, have got the most nervy of goals to take the win.
Savvy Seal is... I mean, you can't really fault him for waiting because, you know, he's expecting them to be right on top of that and ready to fire a shot on. And the car's like, yeah, he's going to come out. He started rotating back, and then he's like, hang on. Okay. And then you put him in a one-on-one. He nailed it. Absolutely perfect again. He's been on fire.
Yeah, the car really impressing at the moment. He's making so many... He's making so little bad decisions in the game. He seems to be reading it really, really nicely. And I think that Butter Bros deserved that win just from that performance, that standout performance, in my opinion, from the car as we have these replays come in. And you're going to see a lot of the car in action here.
Yeah, you're pretty much learning right now, do not give the car space. He has been getting a couple of different 1v1 situations, and he's nailing it every time. But Savvy, he's been doing that as well. That's Savvy's second individual one-on-one goal. He got one earlier on as well, but... I mean, that one's pretty simple for the car.
Easy reads, yeah.
Just
such a smart
He is
dribble.
dominant. He is absolutely dominant across the field. is going to be down to Seoul eSports to really try and shut him down.
It's like, you know, we know Darkness is part of that 2v2 team, but, I mean, you look at the scorecard, 700 points. 700 points in a private lobby. That's 1,400 points in a game. It's insane.
Yeah.
That's the clearest 2v1 win I've ever seen in my life.
For those of you that are sort of less familiar as to why it's important, a 1K game is usually very, very impressive in 2s or 3s. To do 1,400 points?
Jeez.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. And he's going to have to pull out more performances like that if they want to take the series. Obviously, we're now tied up at 1-1. And this is the kind of series I was looking forward to in our elimination bracket. 2 teams going at it hammer and tong because obviously, as we say before, if you lose here, it's the end of the road for you. You ain't getting into that $100,000. You ain't getting the chance to go to regionals, which is what all these teams are fighting out for. So you're going to see a lot of tight series. And it's always interesting to see what players sort of have that natural ability to clutch up in these big games as well. The car started off well here. I mean, he stood out for me as a player so far, and it'll be interesting to see if he can keep that up towards the end of this series and maybe close it out for them. But as you say, on the other side, Seoul eSports, they're not playing neither team are playing any bad Rocket League at the moment. It's just who is pulling out something a little bit more special than the other.
Yeah, I think that's as good as the car can get, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he's got any further that he can possibly push this, which is actually good news for Seoul eSports.
Agreed.
Because the car, if he drops even a slight amount, that could potentially be a loss. I think the main thing right now and the main player we're looking at is Darkness.
Yeah.
Darkness, he needs to tighten up. He doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but the fundamentals need to be locked down a little bit more. He's got to get this rotation sorted out, and he's got to start hitting the ball cleanly, because if not, it's putting more pressure on his own teammate.
Yeah, you cannot expect the 1v2 to work out every single time. You know, there's a reason it's 2v2. You've got a teammate. You need to be able to use that teammate and rely on them. So. And
there's nothing wrong with being the quieter teammate by any stretch of imagination, but you've got to be still getting things right. And that's the problem I have right now. Darkness, you can be the quieter player out of the two, but you can't afford to be making mistakes that late in a game when you're up.
Yeah, he needs to keep supporting the car and what he's doing so well at the moment. Just as you say, just make sure that not too much pressure is falling onto him. It looks like game number 3 is alive in the background, so we're going to go straight into our 3rd game of the series. We're tied up at 1-1 at the moment. This is the swing game.
Yeah, for Butter Bros, managed to avoid a huge catastrophe on their side. Almost dropping the lead, and that is going to be a great start there from Savvy. Used all the boost for all the skill.
Right where he left off. Savvy scored the last 5 for Seoul eSports.
Yeah, Savvy's really, for as much as we're talking about the car, Savvy's really stepping up on the side of Seoul. A lot of individual plays from him, and he's doing incredibly well off it. He's got the double tap potential. I think he might have just been a little bit low on that one, but still, it's the threat that he seems to be having across the pitch.
The threat is generally more powerful than the execution.
Savvy with the follow-up yet again. He's got it over the top of Darkness. 1-on-1 with 1 boost. Is that going to be enough? It absolutely is. Savvy gives him the sneaky eyes and just puts it right underneath.
You want to see Savvy get in a player's mind. You did it. Oh, man. The car is expecting just the short hop into the air dribble, just that gentle lift up into the top of the net, and he gets him to bite so hard, and he just rolls it right under him. Perfect dribble. He had no boost. That's the power of the mind game.
I think that's pretty much his only option as well with no boost. But he managed to convince the car that he had other options. That's what we were talking about yesterday and today.
The threat.
Don't make it obvious. The car now. Ball on his hood. Good first flick. Savvy, though. Straight to the corner. Darkness looking to try and keep this play going as quickly as possible, but it's going to be bouncing straight back out. And Savvy, he's going to have nobody around, but he's got a very difficult position to play it from. And he can't quite do it fast enough. Savvy's really...
He's
twisted.
Sort
of dominating the pitch right now, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. And whenever they're on offense, Savvy is definitely the one setting things up. Bork is just saying, look, if you don't make it happen, I'll be around. What a great bump and a perfect. That is exactly what I was talking about. Bork is saying, look, if you don't make it happen, I'll be right there to help you out. And this time he does it from in front of Savvy. Says, excuse me, the car. We recognize how good you have been on defense, and I've decided to remove you from the equation.
We got bullied out from that one. From the looks of it, 2 teams with very similar play styles. One person likes to dominate the pitch, and one person that is sort of held off the ball, sort of filling in wherever they're needed. So far in this game, working out better for Seoul eSports. Now Bork might have got it over the top of Darkness, who's got to scramble to keep that one away from the net. Butter Bros, they've managed to make quite a meal of these games in previous times. They'll be looking to try and do it yet again.
Was that a pun?
It wasn't. I don't know anyone that just eats butter pure. Maybe in your country.
Butter Bros making a meal, man. It's like, you know.
At least in Scotland, we have the common decency to fry it. Bork forced to save.
Oh, what a
I
shot.
don't think the car can get to that one. Savvy! The 1v1 player to watch. Savvy is just... he's tearing the car apart.
Oh, yeah. And that might be the first mistake the car's made in this series. Like, the first clear, obvious mistake. You know what I mean? It's like, he was like, all right, I'll go challenge this one. I just don't think he respected such a clean catch from Savvy.
So eSports, it's now going to be about locking down, securing this win. Savvy, has he got one more in him? It's another 1v1, this time between him and Darkness. 4 goals. We've just got over half the game gone. And Savvy has just gone red hot.
The best part is the variety with how he approaches the net on these dribbles. You know, you've seen him score it up, down, fast, slow. Doesn't matter. And once you show off to everybody on the pitch that you are capable of any of those, your dribble game just gets that more terrifying to the defense.
He's gone under, he's gone over, and he's gone through.
You've got no idea what's coming at you, and that's the scariest thing.
It's like rock, paper, scissors, but every single time you do it, you lose.
Exactly.
So 4-0. Savvy really stepping it up here in game 3. And there's going to be number
pass.
5. Wow.
It's a great setup here from Bork out of the sidewall. Problem is, it's just Darkness just don't think has a good sense of where Savvy is on the pitch. He's ready to just catch that ball on a dribble, maybe thinking Savvy might be back grabbing boost or something, but just doesn't hear him coming. It's a freebie.
As we said, that Savvy's style of play right now is 100% facilitated by the positioning of Bork.
Oh, yeah.
But
Bork's
Savvy can... I mean, we were talking about this earlier on about how recovery is important. Right now, for a lot of Savvy's individual plays, for some of them, he's not going to be able to recover that quickly. But it's not important because Bork has got it covered. He's going to get that time for Savvy to get back.
It's a very valuable thing, being able to know you have somebody back there that you can trust with just about any scenario.
Back pass attempted there from the car.
No
This
boost.
is all of the momentum that they gained in game number 2, just completely gone for them.
Oh, yeah.
This is 5-0 right now. The car trying to make something. He's won 2 challenges in a row. He's on no boost, but it might be enough. Darkness. Oh, it's the most horrible of bounces. He can't get to that one. And the angle never really opened up.
Does beat. Oh, no. Does Bork have this? No way. Okay. I was going to lose my mind.
That was an a lot shot right there that he was after. Savvy. One-on-one yet again. The car just almost frustratedly just rams his face straight into it and says, you're not allowed any space for this one. But Savvy, is he got number 6 in him? No, in fact, he's going to go for a little bit of flair. Didn't work out, but with 5-0, they can pretty much get away with whatever they want to.
Oh, no. The miscommunication. The car was getting ready to launch that ball across the pitch. Saw Darkness had pre-jumped, though. And right as Darkness gave up on the ball, the car was going for the pass, and they just had to let that attempt fizzle out.
Number 6.
Yes, sir.
Number 6. 13 shots from Savvy so far this game.
And it's been a joyride, really, here in this game number 3. I mean, still, Darkness is putting up huge defensive numbers. Darkness, you know, I'm not saying... Oh, Darkness has 7 saves. My bad. I've got it backwards.
The car has been very quiet this game.
Okay. I thought it was Darkness again racking up all the saves in the universe. But still, it's back to that game number 1, really. You know, 17 shots? It's insane.
17 shots, 6 of them have gone in. Maybe a consolation goal here. And Darkness, just a little bit too close to take that, so they won't be able to grab a hold of that one. Seoul eSports. That's the big sigh of relief from them, especially coming off the loss in game 2.
Yeah, that was big for them. That's a big performance in game number 3, and especially from that man, Savvy. What a performance from him. We were talking about the car in game number 2, but Savvy just took over that game there.
Absolutely.
But props to his teammate as well for allowing him to do that. We were talking about, Bork, and we were talking about Darkness a little bit and how they're going to have to play their roles in this 2v2, even with their two partners and two teammates, popping off in that game 2 and game 3. And I have to give a shout out to Bork there, because it was very rare. Although Savvy was pulling off some phenomenal plays at one end of the pitch, Bork was making very little mistakes at the other.
And I'm actually looking at a lot of these shots here from Savvy and just saying, okay, how quickly will you have been able to recover from this? That one, obviously, Savvy would have been very close, but the first two would have been no recovery opportunities at all there for Savvy. And it's all down to the Bork's positioning. I mean, let's take a look at this one right here. It would have taken some time.
Yeah, he would have been in the net. He would have been in the net.
It's a level of trust right now that that's the difference maker between Seoul eSports and Butter Bros. There is just that little bit more cohesion right there.
You can tell it. You really can tell between the two players. It seems like they have complete trust in each other, as you say.
They've played together for a while.
Exactly, and that's what comes with playing together for a while and getting that cohesion. But on the other side of things, Butter Bros, I think you kind of almost foretold the prophecy a little bit. The car played as well as he possibly could have in that game number 2. His level dropped ever so slightly in that game 3.
He returned to mortal.
Exactly. He just became just plain old the car. and then in that game number 3, it just allowed Savvy and his teammates just to take over the game. So I think it's up to Darkness and the car. They have to step up again. And I'm looking for a little bit more from Darkness, to be honest with you.
I think Darkness had a pretty solid game in that one. I mean, he was overrun.
Solid.
But I wasn't looking at him and just going, okay, yeah, this is the reason. I think the car just... For the Darkness to play the way he's going, he's not going to be able to be that much of an influence across the pitch. That requires the car to be much faster. But I think the car just sort of got boost-starved out for the most part of that game and just wasn't able to do much.
Yeah.
I think kind of the biggest problem was that transition from offense to defense, and the few chances they did, it kind of just fell apart too quickly. It was very all-or-nothing attempts, and I think they erred on the side of caution on a lot of those attempts as well, so they ended up giving up a few more attempts than they would have liked, and it was really that's the funny thing that it all comes back to, right, Shogun? It's the boost management.
Yes.
Do you have boost? You can do things.
I mean, I've spoken to a couple of pro players, and it was just like, what do you guys want us as casters to mention more? And they were just like, boost, okay? It's literally the lifeblood of Rocket.
It literally
you don't
is.
have boost,
your only resource.
you've lost.
It's your only resource in the game.
There's going to be Bork's opportunity. He's going to actually leave that one, but after seeing that miss, he's going to turn around. He's got a 1v1 opportunity of his own.
Ooh.
Not quite able to replicate the same results that his teammate was earlier. And the car wave dash and picks up the boost at the same time, but...
Funny thing is you're wondering, like, why is he wave dashing? What's he possibly going to do? And
After seeing some of the wave dash cuts I've been seeing recently on Twitter, I'd be scared of wave dashes as well at this point.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's just like you have no idea what's coming next.
The car. Straight back to the corner. It's going to be Savvy now. Just pushing it along. Now, the important thing here for Butter Bros is that they went down pretty early last time. They weren't able to recover. This time around,
Double commit.
it's much more neutral. Bork. Nice flick from him. Forces the save from the car. Darkness. He's got an 11 boost. I think he might have been called off it, so allow car to move in and grab it. Let's see what he can do with that one, though, but immediately challenged. And I think this is one of the big changes here from Seoul eSports. Not giving the car that space to move with the ball and control it.
Yeah.
They are right in his face every single time.
And it's just that nice, clean rotation out of the midfield. They're not tying each other up. They've got a good spread, Bork and Savvy. They're always fairly topped up on boost. They're always in a position to make a challenge against the car. And that's the difference.
Yeah, it's going to be the double demo. And Bork will have a nice, clean carpet to walk upon as he tries to get to the midfield. Unfortunately, it's immediately challenged by the car as he came back. Now, what choices does he have? Goes for a demo. And Bork has taken out Darkness. You know what? I'd be really upset at this point if I was on Butter Bros.
What's that?
Keep getting demoed.
There's worse things.
No.
You could be getting balled on by Dad.
Dad, nah. That's probably the best thing that can happen to you. That is an honor right there.
There's only been one person.
Yep.
Oh, what a
There's going to be Darkness. Can't quite set it up. There's going to be the car, though, with the follow.
You know, I just realized that might be the greatest thing the greatest compliment you could give somebody, Shogun. Well, letting them ball on you is perhaps the greatest thing that could happen to them, I think.
Car's early shot, put high, just below the crossbar, and 1-0 to Butter Bros. Remember, they have to win this. If they lose, they are out of the tournament and out of a shot at that $100,000 prize pool.
Okay, so I was wondering why Savvy didn't go up and challenge this one off the back wall. It's because he was sitting on his goal line with 2 boost. And I don't think I would go challenge that one either. I'd take my chances as well. But, you know, when you give the all-important space to the car.
Savvy and the car have 2 boost amounts. 100 and 0. It is nowhere in between. That Savvy is going to put this one to 1 goal apiece. Butter Bros just completely falling apart at defense.
It was a great block by Bork, though. Just skies up and says, ha, not going to clear it. And I actually think the car might have tipped that one back in front of the net. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to watch it one more time, but either way, a little bit of a scrum right there on the front of the net, and Savvy waiting his turn. 3 goals. We take those.
Especially after such a long wait for our first one. So they get 2 straight after each other. Going straight down the pitch, and Bork will not be there in time. The car puts his team up 2 goals to 1.
Let's see what actually happened here. Just a great read from the car. He saw Savvy cut into that ball and says, nah, you're not getting away with that one. And maybe a little lucky that it finds its way directly into the net, but
I think he looked at Savvy there and just went, okay, I don't see you using any boost right now. So that means you must have no boost right now. Savvy going up top. Almost hit the
wanted the
demo.
bump, yeah.
Straight back down. 2 minutes left now with Bork. He hasn't managed to nail any of these 1v1 plays just yet. He's gonna get that one in the most Bork way possible. His strategy was tap, tap, and
smash.
Hit it as hard as I can.
The best part is it's not even perfectly executed. He slightly mistimed the last smash, but either way, the placement's what's important there. Got it all the way over to the left-hand side. Buying that free real estate over into the opposition's side of the pitch is what's really important there. You know, those gentle taps, keeping that ball close, it forces the opposition to think about what you can do with the ball, and that is usually accompanied by them driving back further onto their own field to try and get a better read on it. Been great execution.
Oh, what an individual play, but Darkness didn't read it. Managed to just weave his way through the 2 defenders, 2 goals apiece. Bro's still looking for this victory. Darkness.
Wow.
That was a brave challenge there. He gets beat. There is no one left to help his team.
On elimination point, too, with a minute up.
It's good to see that there is no lack of confidence on him. We're forced to hold the midfield. The car steals the back boost. Savvy now. Seen just how dangerous he can be. This time around, blocked.
Great challenge from Bork. Great read on the angle, but the car, dish, out of reach, and this is going to be a free chance here.
Savvy off the back. Darkness has to go out and get there before Bork, and he had to turn on a dime. The car has been beat. This is the chance for Savvy. Not a turn in, but there is Bork for the follow-up.
This might be the sharpest power slide cut I've ever seen. Oh, man. Even got the car out with that one. There's nothing left to say after that. Just, you know, that's a power slide cut. Moving on.
Perfectly timed. Just taps it straight over the top of the defender. And now Butter Bros, they've got to turn this up to the highest gear possible. As they search for a single goal that can save their tournament lives. The follow for Bork, and that could be the nail in the coffin. 4 goals to 2 for Seoul eSports.
What a flip reset. Just buys extra time. Darkness, he came off of that sidewall. He was in the right position. Problem is he came in a little bit too low. Those front wheels came off the sidewall, and he just couldn't jump at it. All the speed lost, and the car was really depending on that clear coming from that sidewall.
Follow-up shot. Bork with the clear. 20 seconds left now. That's good play. They've got to turn this one in, though. Just over to the side. Not quite there. That could have given them at least 1 kickoff to get back in.
But I think... Oh, wait. Is it
There's
over?
a chance.
Okay, never mind.
There's definitely a chance there.
It's like they knew what I was about to say. I think that's it. And then they get they get Savvy to just punch this ball sky high off the back wall. Bork
I'm
makes
making a prediction.
Hero dive? What do you
fake
got?
kickoff. Is this double center? Fake kickoff. Yep, it's double center.
Okay.
I'm going predicting fake kickoff.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.
Nope, went for it.
Oh, it was fake enough. It wasn't a traditional kickoff, but either way, this is the last opportunity. The car doesn't get a contact.
No.
Straight out of there.
He immediately left. Oh, he's so sad. He knows.
That feels bad.
painful. Yeah,
He
feels bad,
knows.
man. Very much feels bad. But a great performance from both teams there. Another very exciting series for us here on the desk, and hopefully for you guys at home as well. It's going to be Seoul eSports who do take the victory 3-1 and will keep their dreams alive of qualifying for regionals. But, I mean, it was a great showing from both teams again, Shogun.
Yeah, it really was. Seoul eSports not really differing too much to what we saw from them yesterday. It's just that level of cohesion that was better for them, the ability to get the follow-ups. I mean, we usually call them the shadow players that you've got around there, and that's really what they were. But Butter Bros, lethal in offense, sort of flimsy in defense.
Well, I don't know if I would
the
really.
end of that series.
I don't know if I'd say flimsy, because the funny thing is, there were so many times they were in the right spot. It was just a couple of pixels difference. You know, there were a few times in that last game, like that one right there, just those front wheels. If he's just managing his speed a little better, they keep that ball out of the net, play continues, and there's no problem, and you end up in overtime. And that happened more than one time in those last two games for Butter Brothers. It was just these teeny tiny mechanical mishaps, and they just couldn't keep it together after that.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, that it all add up. But there was another goal fest in that series, gentlemen. I think we were 50 goals, was it exactly, after the second series? We had 27 goals in that last series there. So you're saying there's a chance? I'm saying there's a chance, is what I'm saying. So that was 27 goals. And, of course, thanks to our fantastic partners over at Soylent, that means 270 meals will be donated to the World Food Programme over in North America. Of course, if you guys at home, and hopefully you do want to get involved, you can do so by heading over to wfpusa.org/Universal Open. So great stuff from them. So that's 77 goals?
Yeah.
So we need...
Yeah. 30.
Yeah.
30 to tie.
30 it's very, very doable is all I'm saying. 30 to tie, 31 to beat it. But let's have a quick brisk bracket update and look at how the bracket is for our last game of what will be today and what we'll be bringing you. And it's going to be, of course, Allegiance taking on Ducks on Quack. Now, we saw Ducks on Quack, of course, fall down to the losers bracket after losing to Evil Geniuses. They managed to take down Heroes of Tomorrow 3-1 earlier on. Allegiance, we saw what they did earlier, commanding 3-0 victory over Vape Noise. So they're going to be feeling good. Both teams are going to be feeling pretty good coming into this one. And a very interesting matchup stylistically here, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's because we've seen Allegiance light up the scoreboard, and we've also seen them just break down and allow everything. Ducks on Quack, they've actually looked, fairly solid. I don't think the only time we saw them lose was versus Evil Geniuses, and even that series they played pretty solid. So I don't know. I don't know who I think is going to win this one.
I think it's all down to how basic of a series Allegiance can keep it as. Now, they were very good at that earlier on during the series we watched them in. But obviously, yesterday, they struggled to do it. So more of what we saw earlier, I reckon, and they should be able to take it.
Okay, well, of course, we always love to hear from you guys at home, so use that hashtag UOS2. I'm always got my eye on Twitter, so make sure you get your predictions in for what will be our final match of the day. And, of course, you can follow us over at Universal Open as well to keep up to date with everything that's going to be coming up. Of course, we've got more broadcasts to bring you tomorrow and next week and next 2 weeks, actually. So make sure you get over there and follow Universal Open to keep up to date. But that's going to do us all for now. It's one final break before our final game of the day, and it's going to be our final elimination game of the day as well. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be an exciting one. We'll see you after this.